Hi, my name is James Onyx, and I am running a Google ad agency where we focus on Google Ads, Facebook, and SEO. The name of my agency is Ohana Marketing, and I'm based out of New York. However, I'm currently living in Europe. Last month, we did $30,000 in revenue with approximately a 50% margin, so we had $15,000 in expenses. It is a bit high. However, I am working on fixing this at the moment. So before BMI, I was, and still currently am, making events in Europe for techno. I'm doing techno events, and I also had a moving company based out of Bulgaria that I was working, and I started myself. This moving company allowed me to meet Alex, and this is also when I started to become a cook for him. Because of the pandemic and being locked inside my house, I needed to find a way to make money, and people were going to events. So I ended up being a cook for Alex. And I ended up meeting with him, talking with him, and working with him for a few months. And I told him that I was moving to Belgium. When I did, he asked me what I was doing. I told him I didn't really know. I was actually going to go to Belgium and work as a roofer in Bruges because I didn't know what else to do. So he said, James, why don't you just join BMI and I'll help you get a business going, because he knew that I had this other experience. So I said yes. At the time, I thought that this was a lot of money, and I wasn't sure that I would be able to make the payments on it. And because I had been cooking for him for a while, he was able to make a deal with me. Okay, James, if you don't make any money, then don't pay me. But if you do, then you need to pay me. And I was like, okay, this is fair enough. And there's no risk, right? So I moved to Belgium and I started the agency. I only had $1,000 to my name and I used it all. I got like a small little website made. I got myself a computer because I had a laptop that was not very good. And I started working and doing the outreach and following the processes. I started joining all the calls in BMI. I started doing everything that they asked me to do. And at the end of my first month of actively joining, which was in July of 2021, at the end of July of 2021, I had my first deal that I closed for my agency. At that point, I had learned how to hire people and I hired my first person to work with me. So at that time, it was just him and he is still working with me today, almost 2 full years later. What I had learned from BMI was that my whole perception on life really changed. I grew up in a much different way. I came from like a blue collar family. We were working and hard work will set you free, which we all know isn't really true. And being in BMI, surrounded by a group of people in a community that was really designed and brought together by Alex to help people grow and to nourish and nurture them. And this was something that honestly I found far more valuable than me being able to set up a business. I met people that had their life together, that had a much different set of values, perspectives, and from different parts of the world. And since then, we've met in person twice, 3 times actually, and now we're meeting up again. It's a community that grows together, works together, and builds together. And this is something that I feel is invaluable. And for me, this is one of my favorite aspects of being in BMI. I also have lifelong friends. I got married and I'm having a kid now, something I never thought I'd be able to do because I was always living month to month. But now I'm able to save and invest and my life has changed completely. And honestly, I owe it to Alex for giving me this opportunity and pushing me to join. So thank you, Alex. So for anybody who is thinking about joining, I would say BMI is good for people who are not employees. If you like going to work, being told what to do, and you really don't know what to do with yourself and you don't have a clear direction, I wouldn't say that this is for you. I always knew that I wanted more and I wanted to be a business owner, as I had done this in the past. And now my event company, by the way, is growing much more. I had a huge event last weekend. And I'm also DJing now, and I'm doing a lot of things with my life. I'm much more organized. BMI has brought me a lot of value. If you have a desire to change your life, to grow, and you want to learn, and you're able to accept feedback, because there is a lot. This is something that I had to learn. And yes, if you have this ability to grow and this desire to change, then I would say the BMI is for you. If you have skills that are applicable. I had sales skills before this and business experience, but I didn't have much experience with Google Ads. I did Facebook ads, things like this, my moving company and my event company, but I never really took it as a serious business for myself. And then once I entered BMI, I studied super hard for 2 months and I acquired the information needed to do sales, and I used my sales experience. And then I just started growing. Now I would consider myself to be an expert because I'm a very quick learner, and also I study all the time. And now my agency is doing very well. I have clients that are still with me from the first 2 months of me starting. They're still with me and I'm still providing them with even better results than when I started with. I've met with them in person. I flew back home because I'm currently living in Europe, and I met with them in person. I had lunch with them. It's nice to see how my business is helping these businesses grow. And this is something that I really value. So if you're considering joining BMI, just make sure that you have a clear plan for your life. And maybe this is just a stepping stone. Like for me, I love my business and I really want to see it grow, and I put a lot of pride into it, and I've taken a lot of time to develop it. Now I have a team of 5 and 2 full-time people, and I have a clear brand. I have a niche that I'm working in, and I am growing slowly but consistently. The first year, from July 2021 to December 2021, I made $50,000, which never happened ever in my entire life. And then from the entire year of 2022, I made $241,000. And now it doesn't even seem like that much to me because life is growing and expanding. Sometimes my expenses are much more, sometimes they're less, but my life has improved a lot because of this, and I have a much higher quality of life. I'm eating better food. I'm prioritizing things in my life a bit better. And because of this, my business is stable. It's growing. And my KPIs currently for this year, I'm hoping to break like $330,000. And I know it's not like a massive growth, but steady, slow growth builds a stable business that is rock solid. And this is my priority. I do plan on using this money to invest into building my future and to branching out into other areas, which I never thought I'd be able to do. I'm also helping my family and the information that I'm using to help my family grow. So overall, I'm really grateful that I joined BMI, and this is a life hack in a way, because there's no way you could gather this much information on your own without being surrounded by people who are constantly speaking about it, feeding it to you and asking you for your feedback. And now I'm helping people, and I'm doing calls, and I'm helping other business owners who are just starting out. And it feels really good to be able to give back. So if you're thinking about joining BMI, I would definitely say do it. And if you're unsure of whether or not it's for you, just ask yourself, what is it that you want out of life? And then this should guide you and to help you go. And a little feedback for people who are a little hesitant about money: your perception of money will change drastically. So whatever your feelings are about joining, even if it's relative to money, don't worry, this will change. And I wish you luck on your journey. Thank you, Alex, for the opportunity again.